and silver dreams. Hope ran dry quicker than it seemed. Same old talk, same excuses. Another year of Raider blues. Vegas lights don't hide the scars. Fourth down prayers, broken hearts. We rode hard, we paid the price. Buried hope by week 9. Put it in the dirt, let the whistle blow. Another Raider year laid 6 feet low. We drank the Kool-Aid, paid our dues. Rock bottom blues and black and shoes. Yeah, we scream, yeah, we stay, yeah, we lose. Raider Nation never quits on you. Watch from banners high while Sundays teach us how to sigh. Laugh through pain, curse the screen. Love this team like a bad routine. Put it in the dirt, let the whistle blow. Another Raider year laid 6 feet low. We drank the cool.
Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? Welcome to another edition of Raider Nation Show Me Your Shield. I'm your host, Raiders First Downs. This is my co-host, Donuts Duncan. What's up, Donuts?
What's up?
What's up? Hey, we just wrapped up the college football season, and a lot of debate, a lot of animosity, a lot of hurtful feelings out there that's going to be happening for the next 4 months. But we got it, man. We have a secret weapon, a special guest tonight that we're going to bring on stage for y'all. And this man he's pretty direct when it comes to transitioning to what we're looking for in our college players that are going to come up in the NFL and help our franchise out. Well, without further ado,
ladies and gentlemen,
Raider Nation, show me your shield.
Welcome to the black hole. Tonight, a titan, a force to be reckoned with. Now introducing your special guest. Dark Side OB!
And there he is, our secret weapon, our Discord buddy, Dark Side. What's happening, man?
What's going on, big dog? How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Sorry about the loss last night, but it's kind of a win-lose situation for you, huh?
Yeah, it's a win-win situation. I mean, it is what it is. We made it back to the playoffs. We made it, to the Natty. It's been a while since the Hurricanes made it. So that's a win. And then, like I was telling all my friends, Fernando Mendoza played his tail off, and he won the Natty. So that's another win. So I'm happy.
A lot of people in Raider Nation said he looked like crap.
A lot of people in the world said that. I mean, it is what it is, though. You can't really change what the narrative is. You're never gonna have 100% approval from everybody. So it is what it is,
and that's fine. But as long as we unite when it becomes real, if we do draft him and he comes to us and he starts to lead us to the promised land like it's supposed to be, I hope everybody, I myself, I will forget all this conversation, but. Also, at the same time, I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong too. So if we're wrong on the pick, we take him, and it's right. Like, yep, you're right.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So we're gonna dive into a little bit with your fandom and whatnot. Duncan, you ready to fire this off?
Oh, definitely. But I will say one thing: I'm pretty petty, so all the people are talking smack on Mendoza. If he starts lighting it up, I'm going to be chatting.
There's going to be
I know.
I told you so's. There's
Yeah,
going to be a
nothing
lot
wrong
of
with
I
that.
told you so's.
Oh, definitely.
You know, but it is what it is. And I know last night on another channel with the skipper, we had some conversation, and I know I don't want to break a brotherhood because I love the man, but it's almost like he's getting mad at me to the point where he doesn't even want to talk to me. And it's like, I'm
he's
trying to
set
tell
himself
you.
up. He's the one that keeps saying trade back.
Well,
Definitely
and
not
he's
straight.
he's a little late on the Fernando game. See, I go back to when he played at Cal last year, right? And I
Yeah.
watched him play at Cal, and I thought he was a pretty darn good quarterback at Cal. And when I found out he went to Indiana at the beginning of the season, I was like, man, I wonder. I'm gonna flip over to because I know Curtis Rourke last year played halfway. He played good for Indiana.
He played real
know?
good for Indiana.
You
And
know,
he played hurt most of the season.
Yeah, he was
So-
all right.
and if you look at the storyline as why he went to Indiana, there's two reasons why he went to Indiana. One, his little brother went there, so he had a little inside knowledge of what was going on in the facility and how that program operated. He already graduated with his degree, so he was done with this college. So why not go to Indiana, be with my brother, and they have a coach that has the ability to get me better for the pro game. So
Right.
that those are the reasons why he did it. But anyways, we're here because of Dark Side tonight, and want to bring him in. He's one of our Discord buddies. Been about a year and a half now that we've been chopping. You guys have probably been on there longer than me.
Yeah, I don't even know when I first got on there.
No,
It's been a while though.
I think it's
Yeah,
been
it's
about 2 years for me.
about a year and a half for me. So, but we're gonna dive into what was the first Raider season that hooked you? Was Dark Side?
The year 2000. Telling my
Okay.
age, I'm already telling about his gray hair, but yeah, it's year 2000.
Nah.
I think that was the year before the Super Bowl or 2 years before
Mhm.
the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I remember watching them that was playing, and at the same time, I was trying to decide. I'm from Carolina, so
Mm-hmm.
it's weird liking the West Coast team as it is, but I was trying to decide between the Tennessee Titans and the Oakland Raiders, and I decided on the Oakland Raiders because Rich Gannon, and I can't remember the running back name, but he was going off, and it stuck with me then. And then I'm a real big history buff, and they were showing I think even then they were showing like old 70s type football with Jack Tatum,
Mm-hmm.
and Willie Mays. I was just not Willie Mays, but Willie Brown.
Willie Brown.
And I just fell in love. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of. I don't want to age myself, but I started in 1979. I was 7 years old at the time. My dad was already a Raider fan, but it was just built into me programmed through him. And Sundays, breakfast in the morning and Raiders in the afternoon. Every Sunday during football season. Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm about the same time where I start remembering games. I was about 2001, 2002. Like those two seasons kind of blend in together for me.
Yeah.
So it's just the age of what I was at where I wasn't really fully into football quite yet. And then them making that Super Bowl really
That's what it
really
was.
got me into it.
So, like with me, right there in the corner over my shoulder, you can see that black pennant hanging on the wall right there. That my mom got me that pennant, and that's the Super Bowl 15 pennant, and she bought that for me, and I had it autographed by Dave Browning and Cliff Branch. Autographed that for me when I was a kid.
That's what's up.
So, well, who's your favorite Raider of all time, and why?
Favorite. I'm gonna say Jack Tatum because I'm a real. I mean, I don't know if you're. I know you're in the Discord, but me and Duncan have a back and forth more often than not. And Duncan knows that I'm a real big defensive guy. Like I love defense, and Jack
Same
Tatum
here.
embodies defense. Like he would hit you, and I love that. So, I would say Jack Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
So my favorite player of all time is Bob Sanders from the Colts.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
you remember him, the safety.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite Raider is Jack Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Sanders was very, for his size,
Yeah.
you would have thought he was 6'5" the way he played.
Yeah.
He was good. So Duncan,
Yeah.
if you want to carry on.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Raiders have a historic past of being real smash mouth football, tough on defense, run the ball down your throat, big pass game. But seems like recently the Raiders are kind of lacking kind of an image. So to you, what does Raiders football mean in the year of 2026?
2026. Hopefully it's change. Because like I said, since 2000, after that Super Bowl, it's just been the bottom of the barrel, like the basement dwellers. So hopefully 2026 is change. Hopefully that's what it is. Because and I don't even want immediate change. I just want, something that's that shows a decent team, like a well-rounded team. And I hate comparing like other teams, but something like Seattle. I don't think Seattle has like a great offense, and I don't really care to have a great offense. I'm a defensive guy. I want to dominate on defense, and I don't know if I'm messing up the questionnaire here, but I want my quarterback just to manage the game. I don't need him to be a Caleb Williams. I don't need that. I want you to do what you need to do when you need to do it, how you need to do it. I want it to look right. I want it to, like AP used to say, look right, taste right, feel right. That's what I like.
Yeah.
I don't care about the flashiness.
Yeah. So that goes into a little bit of the next question on like, has the franchise lost its identity or is it being rebuilt, just restructured? And what traits? Sorry. What traits must the next core Raiders team have?
I don't think we have an identity right now. Obviously, we don't, because we've had eight quarterbacks in the last 3-4 years since Derek Carr.
Yeah,
maybe 9 quarterbacks since then. Maybe 5 or 6 head coaches. So we don't have an identity. We had 3 GMs. We don't have an identity. So that's what I hope 2026 is us building that foundation of getting an identity. And I hope that identity is like you said, like smash mouth, great defense, gritty, like the old school type Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like not scared of nothing. I don't like that finesse stuff. I want teams to be scared to play you. You know what I'm saying? Like I know for a fact teams are scared to play the Seattle's. And I keep saying Seattle because they might win a Super Bowl. I know teams are scared. They're looking at the Seattle Seahawks team and they just well-rounded everywhere. They have a great offensive threat with JSN. They have a game manager quarterback in Sam Darnold. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, they are always in the game. Even if he makes one mistake, their defense is good enough for that he can do that and, you know what I'm saying, right that one wrong. They good on special teams. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want. And then what was the second question?
What traits must the next core Raiders team have?
Oh, well, I answered that too. Physicality. And I want a team that's well disciplined. That's probably number one. Well disciplined. That's false starts, like, you know what I'm saying, it's penalties, and also doing your job right. Do your job at 100%. If you do your job, I don't know if I'm going off tangent again, but if you do your job well enough to where you want to make the Pro Bowl, you do your job. Don't try to do nothing else. Don't try to be superhero, but you do your job perfectly. Then the team will probably be good. You ain't got to go above and beyond and do 2 or 3 jobs. Just do your one job. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what I want the coach to preach. Do what you need to do. Don't worry about Max Crosby. Max Crosby, you don't worry about this defensive tackle. Defensive tackle, you don't worry about the linebacker. Quarterback, you don't worry about what the running back's supposed to do. I mean, you got to hold each other accountable, but once that ball is snapped, just do your job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that goes to core values that you're even taught in Pee Wee football. Just a collective of 11 bodies doing their jobs, and success will happen because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have a military background too, Darkside, correct?
Yes.
Wasn't
I
it?
do. I was in the Army.
Wasn't that the same philosophy in the Army?
100%. 100%. And I also played football too. I played football at Tusculum College in Tennessee. So my DB coach, he preached the same thing. So
yeah. Just do your job. Just do your job. Go ahead, Doc.
Would you rather rebuild the right way or chase short-term wins to create success?
Oh no, rebuild the right way.
Okay. And
Yeah.
to you, what would be rebuilding the right way?
Rebuild. So, and it's crazy you asked that because I was thinking about that earlier. Prior to us drafting Brock Bowers, we have chased draft picks. All right, we've overdrafted players everywhere, from Cleveland Farrell to John Abrams to, you know what I'm saying? We can just keep naming. Damon Arnett, Gary Conley. Like I can name a whole bunch of people, but Brock Bowers was that was the start of us doing the right thing. Brock Bowers, right? Getting pieces, getting top 5 players in the draft. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You get top 5 players in the draft, you're gonna be successful later on, especially if you're picking in the top 10, top 15. And then in the first round, once you are successful and you're picking in the 20s, you got to try to hit on top 15 guys because there's gonna be some guys that fall. So if you can just keep adding blue chip guys, blue chip prospects, then your team is gonna always be sustainably good.
Yeah, definitely. It's always great to build the team through the draft, and it's how you set every foundation for a successful franchise. I mean, look at the Eagles. They're just constantly hitting draft pick after draft pick, and they just know how to properly position rookies too. Like the offensive line, they're constantly drafting offensive line, even though they already have a solid one. It's like you just got to keep rebuilding, or not rebuilding, but keep structuring your team for the future.
You got to replenish. I think that's a good word because I can't remember. Was it Darius Slay? They had Darius Slay who made the Pro Bowl and they still drafted 2 corners. I think we talked about that the other day. Yeah, Darius Slay made the Pro Bowl and they still drafted 2 corners, and Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah,
and they was able to get off of Darius Slay.
And then even if, what was it, like 3 or 4 years back, they drafted a center even though they had Jason Kelce.
Exactly, and he's taken over and they haven't lost a step on the offensive line.
Yep. You have any input to add to that, Jason?
No, I think you guys nailed it right on the head. Is that you got to get the roster to a point where it becomes replenishment versus rebuild. You know, you start. I like to get to that point where we're just replenishing talent. We're not trying to rebuild talent.
Yeah.
And just like Darkside said, we started right during the Bowers draft. We're starting to get players that are blue chip caliber players in the right position instead of reaching for people and hoping they pan out.
Yeah. And one of the things too is all the drafts that I've been watching over the years, a lot of your good GMs will stick and pick with best player available instead of trying to fill needs. Obviously, if a player falls to you and it fills a need, boom, that's a bonus. But in your first couple rounds, man, sticking with the best player available, it seems like it works, you know, for a lot of the good franchises, your Eagles, your Chiefs, Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh has caught themselves in a quandary because they've never really addressed the quarterback situation. I think if that roster, if you just throw a quarterback in and a couple more pieces and coaching, that roster is actually pretty good. But hey, real quick before we go on to the next topic, I'm gonna give a shout out to the people in the chat here. Jack, thanks for coming in, brother. I know you were early. I don't know if you're still here or not, but thanks for coming in, brother. We appreciate it. Noe, we need Fernando Mendoza. We'll talk a little bit about Fernando Mendoza as we go through the program here. I'm sure that topic is going to be hot for the next 4.5 months, at least till April 23rd, right?
Talk about him into nauseum.
Yeah, to the point where I don't even want to talk about it no more. Dalton, I believe that's one of your guys right there. Salute, thanks for coming in. And then there's a couple kick spam ones. Jack, thanks for still being here, brother. And if you got any questions or anything, feel free. We're going to throw another topic up here, and we'll get to it, man. We're going to go into state of the roster. Position groups that need immediate help. What are some of the position groups that you feel? Is it the offensive line? Is it the quarterback? Is it the defensive backfield? Which would you prioritize at the top of the draft at this point that would be immediate help?
I mean, obviously, quarterback. We're not even going to discuss that, but and we're talking draft.
Yeah.
So I'll give you best case scenario. We go into free agency. We address some of our core needs that are obvious red flags. We get some of those red flags out of the way in free agency.
Okay.
And now we step into the draft, and we got our draft board set the way we like it, and we can work off of it. In other words, we're not going to have to start drafting based on need. We can actually draft based on what's going to make the team better, period.
Okay. I would say the trenches, and trenches, that's O-line and D-line and linebacker.
Okay. And
O-line,
do you think
linebacker.
Knowing the talent that's coming out, and I'm sure you got a really good grasp of what the top 50 caliber prospects are, who's in the top 50 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think if we take a quarterback at number one, which we have the number one pick, and boom, we're there, and we're like, okay, we need a franchise quarterback. You know it, I know it, and 95% of the Raider Nation knows we need a franchise quarterback. So we're going to take Fernando Mendoza, number one, and we're putting all of our chips in the basket that he's going to be our franchise quarterback to take us to the promised land. Now we're getting past pick 15, and we're between 15 and 50. And, obviously we can move up, we can move down. But where do you think we go from there in the draft? Or what would be the best case scenario?
Again, it just depends on what happens in free agency. I think if we address the O-line in free agency, then I would definitely go D-line linebacker. I would go D, and it also depends on who our head coach. I mean, I know this is very vague, but it also depends on who our head coach is and who our coordinators are too, because it depends on, what I'm saying, what type of, like we was talking about earlier, the identity that we're gonna have, right? But if we address O-line in free agency, like we get a Braden Smith and let's say Elijah Vera Tucker, if we get those two guys in free agency, I think the O-line will be good until day 3. All right, we can get a Bo Stevens out of Iowa on day 3, like in the 4th round, 5th round, or their center. I like all 3 of the Iowa guys. Their center is I think it's Landon Jones or something like that. He's real good. He's nasty. He reminds me of JPJ. You can get him, stick him at center, or just let him learn behind somebody. If you get a Tyler Linderbaum or something, right?
What about a Jake Slaughter, Florida?
I know that's Duncan's guy. Yeah, I like Jake Slaughter though.
You like Jake Slaughter, Duncan?
Yeah, there's 3 centers I really like. And
yeah, all 3 of them I like too. I really like Jones in Iowa. I know it really shocks me that he's farther down on the talent spread. I really figured him to be a top 25, top 35 type prospect.
NFL,
even though he's a center,
in love with their athletic linemen right now. They're okay with undersized guys because they want them to be able to move in their zone blocking schemes. The power guys are kind of taking a back seat right now, but it seems like the teams that can run the ball with some power are usually the ones that are finding more success towards the end of the season. So I don't understand this whole love for the undersized finesse linemen. Which,
I hate that finesse stuff.
that being said, I'm a big fan of Connor Liu, and he is more of a finesse lineman. But I like Slaughter. He's bigger, and then Jones, like you said, another great talent at center.
And the weird thing is, Logan Jones. I just looked at my spreadsheet. Logan Jones, he's 6'3", 295 pounds. I don't know if that's like accurate to this day, but I guess on Iowa's website, he was 6'3", 295 pounds, which is very, very light, under 300. But he doesn't play like a 300-pound O-lineman. He plays more like 315. But anyway,
he's got a lot of his weight is from his hips down. If you look at him, he's got a lot of what do they like to say, junk in the trunk.
Yeah,
he got a big butt.
He's got a solid base.
Yeah, and you know what? That's key, bro. That's key because you can have all the upper body strength that you want, but man, if you don't have that lower leg strength, it's hard to play offensive line without that lower leg strength. So, staying on the same question, obviously we addressed the quarterback. We don't have to talk too much about the quarterback right now because I think when we get to the end of the show, we're going to wrap on that pretty hard because there's obviously a lot of animosity and disgust and debate amongst Raider Nation about that. So we'll peel that in at the end. So let's talk about defensive backfield. Obviously, we have some needs on the back end of our defense as well, and this is one of your strengths. Darkside, go ahead and roll with it. What you got?
Well, you want to know who's some good prospects?
Yeah, throw some out there. Hold
on, let me pull up my spreadsheet.
You want a position, or you want to go by value at where they're drafted?
All five backfield positions are going to be some type of a necessity. I mean, obviously, Porter is kind of a he's got some of the intangibles, and I think with good coaching, he could probably be a real respectable corner. If we bring back Stokes, I think Stokes had a pretty decent season. I mean, it wasn't eye-popping, but he was solid, and he played all season, which was one of the few things – that was one of the knocks on him. He couldn't finish the season without getting hurt. So that's a plus there. Same with Jeremy Chin. But what say you, Darkside? Give us your defensive backfield. What do you think we should do in the draft with that?
There's a few guys that I like. I really like Keontae Scott. I think we need to hit on the physical corners, because when I say physical corners, I still want you to cover, but I want you to be able to tackle, because Sean McVay, like when you make it to the playoffs, those offensive guys, they're scheming up to where they don't want the linebackers to make the tackle. They want the outside corner to make the tackle. So they're going to crack back on the safety or that outside linebacker or that defensive end and have that corner on the island. And are you going to tackle? Are you going to be willing to tackle Jahmyr Gibbs or a James Cook? Or are you just going to not flop, but just flail your arms out? So I want guys that can tackle. And the guys that I like is Keontae Scott out of Miami. He's a really good tackler. Yep. Julian Neal out of Arkansas. He's pretty big too. He's like 6'2", 210. He's a solid tackler, but he doesn't have like that long speed. There's a few guys. The guy from Florida, he's pretty good too. But yeah, that's what I would go after in the cornerback room. Guys that and I want you to be able to be versatile, play inside, outside. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I like
Neal
too out of Oregon.
Yeah, Neal's interesting. He mostly if he could keep the play in front of him, he's very dangerous. Read and react on the ball. And if he can get like the short slant routes and dig routes and things like that, if he can get up on top of that receiver quickly, he can make a play on the ball. But you're absolutely right. If it's a double move type play or two different concepts in a route in and of itself, he's off.
Yeah.
and we don't need that.
No.
Unless we're going to play a lot of cover 2 high safety or cover 1 high safety on his side.
But see, that's another reason why I know we're not talking about coaches, but that's another reason why I want to a guy like Chris Shula or Jesse Mentor, because they don't leave their corners on the island too often. It's always going to be like a 2-shell, like an umbrella, basically. So the corners have help, and not just on the inside with the safeties and the linebackers, but also on the outside with the out of bounds line, right? So that's why you get the guys like a Tarheeb Steele, who's becoming like a well-known name, even though I don't think he's that good. He's just in a real good scheme for him.
Yeah. Next question. Hey, what are some hidden strengths that some of the fans are overlooking? And it kind of goes into look at it from this standpoint. Who do you think stays and who should go? And don't play favorites. If you have a favorite player, but yet he needs to go, just let it rip.
So can you reword it? Say it again.
So if somebody on the team, currently on the team, with hidden strengths that fans are overlooking, and if you want to throw some names out of people that they need to go or they need to stay, but don't show favoritism just because you like the guy or what university he came from.
That's a good question. Somebody on the team. I feel like it's not me showing favoritism. I feel like a lot of people are off the Jack Bech, not bandwagon, but they don't like Jack Bech, or they gave up on Jack Bech a little too soon. I think Jack Bech is going to be really good. I feel like he's very physical. What you seen out of Puka Nacua the other day, I feel like that's going to be Jack Bech, but not as dynamic. But he can block, he can catch in traffic, he can, go across the middle. I feel like Jack Bech is a guy who's going to be really good for us. I'm not saying he's going to be a 100-catch receiver, but he's going to do the dirty work, which I like.
Yeah.
And the guy who I don't really like is Dylan Parham. I'm not saying, and I mean, obviously the obvious answer is like a Jordan Meredith, but I'm not really a big fan of Dylan Parham. I'm not a big fan of, I have a lot of guys. I don't like Devin White. I don't like Eric Stokes. I don't like IPM. There's a lot of guys I don't like.
Do you want to hit more on Eric Stokes? Because I know that's a big name for Raider Nation where they like him just because he had a solid season by the numbers.
Yeah,
but
you want to
explain why?
Yeah, because same reason the Devin White. Devin White had 100. He like top 5 in tackles, but those aren't good tackles. You getting pushed
jumped
back.
On back.
It's just like those
jumped
on
a lot of people's
backs. Aren't good. But Eric Stokes, it would be better if I could show you the film. But Eric Stokes gets targeted and it will be a bad throw. Or if he doesn't get targeted, he got beat really bad. He slipped. He falls a lot. And he's just not, the quarterback's not looking that way. That's not his read on the backside, right? He's not a good tackler. He's terrible in run fits. He's a terrible tackler. He's just like fits the mold as far as size, weight, height, weight, speed. That's what I'm trying to say. He just fits that mold, but he's not a guy that I would keep around.
All right. I know I had mentioned earlier that I would keep him, but the reason why I say that is, and even in the tape, it didn't look like he was beaten like a drum over and over and over again. He did have some recovery plays. You're absolutely right. A lot of times it was the quarterback's fault that the play didn't happen versus what it's not so much what he did, but what he didn't do, and he got away with it.
Right. And then another thing is that cover three is he's not gonna because he runs a 4-2, 4-3. So he's not gonna get beat over the top. Like he's super fast. But as far as like breaking down on a dig route or stopping on the hitch, and it could be their coaching, because I didn't see Darian Porter press a lot either, like using his hands to press. they get up on the line, but they didn't actually use their hands to press, which I didn't understand that. But I just feel like that cover 3 with him just in bail technique all the time, like I would say 90% of the time, it fits him as far as like his numbers go. But when it was time for him to stick his nose in there and tackle somebody, he wouldn't do it, and I don't like that.
No. Salary? What's your salary cap philosophy? Do you spend big or draft and develop? And anybody in the chat wants to answer that question as well, throw your answers in the. And Duncan, if you can keep an eye on the chat, I'm up on the note board.
Yep.
Salary cap. So right now we got 100,000, 110,000.
Yeah,
I
feel like, yeah, I feel like this first year, we need to. I don't think we should get any guys that's over the age of 27, 28 at the latest, right? So they can be here in 3 years when we're actually hunting the Super Bowl, and we're not trying to, you know what I'm saying, get other guys to come in and replace them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, especially on the defensive side of the ball, people, unless you're like a Michael Parsons or Myles Garrett, you're not going to come in and just be dominant, right? It's going to take you a few years, and you don't normally hit your stride until you're 26, 27 years old. So those are the guys that we should go after, especially on the defensive side. Older guys, not older, but like middle-aged guys, middle-aged football age guys, so they can learn under the new defensive scheme, and we can re-sign them once we see who fits and who doesn't fit. And O-line, I'm real big in the trenches, so O-line, D-line, definitely. And then once we get to where we need to be, as far as, okay, Mendoza does good or he doesn't do good this year, we need to know, okay, he needs this. He needs another wide receiver that can do this, or he needs a better right tackle because we didn't address the right tackle situation, or the linebacker that we got isn't fitting the bill, you know, so we can address that then. That's just my opinion.
All right. There's one more question in the category, but we've already answered that question. So we're going to move on to the next category. Duncan, if you want to go ahead and take over in the notes, and I'll let's address the chat real quick. We got 401_Raider_Jeff, the skipper, the pioneer of this production company. Salute, Skipper. Much love to you, brother. If anybody after our show that's in here want to go and check out his show, the Notorious Black Hole Podcast, on tonight. It comes on in an hour and a half. Just check your alerts, and so be it. Next one, I'm Not Bueno, one of our OGs that comes in with our chat. Salute to you, my brother. And so next topic is going to be transitioning to the draft mindset. Duncan, if you want to take over.
Yeah, I mean, we go from college Saturdays to Raider Sundays. How does Darkside OB evaluate prospects, like from tape and stats? Is there any conference bias when you're starting to really dig into players?
No, not at all. I like good football guys. I pay attention to what you do on the field. I don't care what your helmet look like. If I can, and it's weird when people do evaluations and they say that this guy messed up, because you don't know what he's being coached. You don't know what he's being told on this actual, you know what I'm saying? When you see this route, when you see this formation, we want you to do this. So you might think he messed up, but he's doing his job how he's coached to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you're in a one-on-one situation, I'm just talking like corners here, but if you're in like a one-on-one situation, is you versus him, and you're sticky, right, as far as coverage wise, that stands out to me. Like the Quinyon Mitchell, I loved Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, he
was at Toledo, and he was the best player on his team. Like I was telling y'all the other day. Again, I hate to go off. I do that a lot. I go off tangent a lot, but when it comes to the coaches, it's the same thing. Ben Johnson was the best coach on the Lions. He was the Lions identity, right? When it comes to guys on Toledo, if you're not the best player on your team, why are we even evaluating you? At you know what I'm saying? You got to be at least top 3 on your team. You got to stick out. You know what I'm saying? Like the game the other night, Miami versus Indiana. Ahmad Moten stuck out to me. Number 99, he was dominating the trenches. He was beating Indiana's O line up all night.
And Messidor too.
Messidor. The only knock Messidor is going to have is 25. That's his only knock. He's 25, but I don't care about that.
He flashes more than Bane. I think he flashes more than Bane. I really do. I like Bane, don't get me wrong, but it seems like every time I watch Miami play, it's like number 3 is. It almost seems like he's dirtying the pocket up more than anybody else.
Yeah. But and like a D'Angelo Pons is, like I told you, he's 5'8", 85 pounds, but he's clearly the best DB or probably the best defender that they have on the defensive side of the ball in Indiana. So you're on a national championship team and you're the best guy they have on that side of the ball. I love that.
Now, when it comes to like probably lesser known guys, but still guys that are the best on their team, like how do you come about finding them?
YouTube and Twitter. Scouring YouTube and Twitter. So that's basically it.
Name pops up and then people are commenting on how good that player is, so then it piques your interest kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's that, and let's say if I go like if I'm just bored one day, because I do real estate, so I have a lot of free time. I have a lot of free time. So if I'm on YouTube and I'm just scrolling and I just want to look at some good 101s, right? Some DB drills. I do that. I go on TikTok and look at, like a South Carolina State. I look at South Carolina State just highlights, right? That's basically what it is too. So during college season, I look at a lot of highlights and I'm like, oh, okay, he did good. Let me go look at his tape. Let me go look at last game and see if he did the exact same thing. Okay, he did pretty good. I need to keep an eye on him. I write his name down, and that's basically how I do it.
Now, how do you do it, Duncan?
I mean, kind of the same thing where I start looking at highlights and stuff, and then when a player catches my eye, I start going back and looking at their actual film. Stats also kind of an indicator on players that I want to go see. Like if somebody's stats are popping off the charts, then I want to go see them. I don't want to rely on those stats, but those stats can kind of send me in directions.
Yeah, that's how I got it. That's how I got wind of because again, I'm on the East Coast, so I don't get to catch a lot of USC games, but that's how I got wind of Jaden Maiavi, whatever his name is.
Maiava,
yeah. He was like top 3 on week 8 and quarterback and on PFF, whatever the quarterback stat is. He was top 3. It was him, Brendan Sorsby, and somebody else. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm out on the West Coast in California, and usually on Saturday nights at 7:00 at night, you got Cal football, you got Washington, Oregon State, those, UCLA, USC,
Oklahoma State.
We get those games at night on Saturdays out here on the West Coast, and like last year, watching Cal, and I just so happened, I'm like, Cal's playing Miami. What the hell are they doing playing Miami? Oh, that's right, they're in the ACC now. Okay, and I started watching the game, and I'm seeing this quarterback, and I'm like, he looks pretty good, and then and it's like, oh, yep, he can run. And that one play where he broke Bane's ankles on the outside and got upfield for 15 yards, I was like, okay. And then when this year started, I didn't even know he had gone to Indiana because I don't pay attention to the transfer portal. Usually, what I do is I pull up I'll pull up ESPN at the beginning of the season and the preseason when they first start playing. I'll pull up ESPN's top prospects and start looking at them and going, okay, I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch Tulane, or I'm going to watch Oklahoma or Alabama. Alabama, Georgia, those are SEC teams. You watch those anytime. A lot of times you want to watch the other schools, the Wisconsins and things like that, and see what their prospects are like, and just kind of get a. That's like with Jake Slaughter this year. Is like I saw him as a top prospect as a center, and I started watching. I watched a couple of his games, and I was like, he's a nasty little dude, and his his pass blocking is pretty damn good. So
Maryland got some pretty good guys on their team too.
yeah, and that's another thing too. Is I don't have an allegiance to a college football team at all.
Okay.
Maybe Notre Dame when I was a kid because of Tim Brown and Raheem Ismail,
Okay.
and Jerome Bettis and Ricky Waters coming from there. Other than that, I don't really have. It's not like you'll never see me with any type of college flair, unless it's a player that's played for the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Real quick for Furpo.
Raiders.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
that's right on. So I don't have the biases, but I do like to look at the beginning of the season. But I just got accused on somebody else. I was in the chat, and Raider Rebel accused me. He said you need to go look at film. Well, I sent him. What happened was I sent him a short, right? And the short is the last drive of Indiana versus Penn State. It's the whole drive is in a short. I sent that to him because he said that he's unable to handle pressure and deliver the ball and make plays. And I go, did you see the Penn State game? Did you see the Iowa game? Did you see the Illinois? Well, they blew Illinois out, but Oregon, the first Oregon game? Am I fucking missing something here? And he goes,
Cal
I
2024.
I watch film. You need to watch film. I go, okay, stop with that bullshit right now. Stop. Okay. Because then I sent him that short. Well, anybody, you need to watch film. Shorts are just highlights. Okay. This is the whole fucking drive, dude, in a short. And that drive in and of itself tells you everything. Oh, he can't deliver. He's
The whole drive is a highlight. It's not my fault. That whole last drive is a highlight.
That's a whole last drive was exactly what I wanted you to see. Oh, well, that receiver just made a good catch. Okay. He got freaking tattooed when he delivered that ball. Yeah, he threw it. Yeah, the receiver had to make a great catch. But fuck, you think Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls if his player, if Julian Edelman doesn't make that fucking goofy ass catch in the middle of the field, do they beat Atlanta? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so if what's his name that
David Tyree?
I already know Tyree. Well, yeah, he makes that catch for the Giants off of his helmet. Does Eli Manning have a second Super Bowl?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Somebody's got to make the catch. Dwight Clark. If Dwight Clark doesn't catch that ball, is Joe Montana the greatest player of all time?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go round and around and around with this shit all we want. But somebody has to throw the ball. They have to do it under pressure. And did you see the Penn State game, Darkside?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was a great game.
Anything in that, and at the end, I mean, that drive was just methodical. And that was his Heisman moment was that drive.
I think we was talking about that whole game. The whole second half, we was talking in the Discord. And I said he needs to get the ball back. At like around at least if he has a chance, if he get it around the 3-minute mark, he'll have a chance.
Yep. And the same with Ohio State. Well, he can't make he dropped a 35-yard fade route to the slot receiver along the hash marks to seal the game. And it could have probably been a touchdown had the receiver just said, I'm going to focus on the catch and not so much trying to catch the ball and run. Because at that point, all he has to do is make the catch, go down, game's over. They win the game. He doesn't have to. That goes back to what we talked about earlier. Just do your job. Don't try and win. You don't have to try and do something spectacular to win the game. Sometimes the little stuff helps you win the games.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you got one more question left in yours.
Yeah. Getting back to the draft. What are some key things that you want to look at by position? Like, what do you want to see out of D tackles, DNs, cornerbacks, like their intangibles?
Okay. So I need everybody that I know this is a widely used phrase, but I need everybody to have that dog mentality to finish the play, right? Beyond the whistle, right? But my quarterback, I don't need him to be a Caleb Williams. It'd be good if he had some athleticism. I just need you to be accurate with the ball. I need you to be able to put the ball where it needs to go, because that's your job. Just put the ball where I don't need you to run around. That's not your job. Your job is to throw the ball and get it to where it needs to be. Be a point guard. So that's what I want out of my quarterback, to be a point guard. My wide receivers, I want them to be playmakers. My running back, I want them to be durable, right? Durable and explosive. Offensive linemen, I need them to be nasty. Every single one of them. That's tackles, guard, center. I need everybody to be nasty. I don't care about, okay, we finishing beyond the whistle. If you get a flag, that's cool with me. Don't do it too much, but that's setting the tone, especially at the beginning of the game. It sets the tone. Be nasty.
On first and second down, though. Third down, we get a stop. Don't get that penalty.
Yeah, don't kill a drive. But especially like in the first quarter, I mean, set the tone. Let them know that you're here. You know what I'm saying? Rub their face in the dirt and all that stuff. D ends, I need my D ends to be athletic. I need my D ends to be athletic and strong. I want my D tackles to be, again, kind of like my O lineman, nasty, finish the play, right? It was a play the other day. Again, I like to use examples. The Rams and Bears.
Yeah.
Braden Fisk stopped on a dime on a screenplay to DJ Moore, I believe. He stopped on a dime and made the tackle outside the numbers. It was insane. And Braden Fisk, if you don't know who Braden Fisk is, he's a defensive tackle. He's like 6'3", 320 something pounds. And he sprinted his ass off outside the numbers and made the tackle. That's what I want out of my D tackles. Nasty and athletic. Linebackers are similar to the quarterback. I need you to be point guard of the defense. Get everybody where they need to go. Don't make mistakes. Make tackles when I need you to make tackles. I need you to be my leading tackler, honestly, especially my middle linebacker. Safety, I need you to be kind of like a airplane pilot, right? Tell everybody where they need to go. Make sure everybody's safe. Put everybody in good position. Corners, I need you to be great communicators, fast, great feet. You have to have great feet, great hips, because I want you to be able to play one-on-one if I need to. Can't play zone all the time. You need to play one-on-one, especially in the red zone, and be willing tacklers. So, yeah.
Now, want to key on what you said about the linebackers being the leading tacklers, getting people in the right positions, making good tackles. Can you explain, like, compare it to Devin White, who is the leading tackler, and you mentioned how has a lot of tackles, but they're bad tackles. Can you kind of explain more into that?
Okay, so a good tackle is, okay, if I'm playing middle linebacker and it's a run play, like it's a dive in the A gap, I take on with the correct shoulder, I take on the fullback, right? I take on the fullback and I make the tackle at the line of scrimmage or the play is net 1 yard, 2 yards. I'll take that. That's a good play because you have to take on the block and then you had to make the tackle. That's a good play. In Devin White's case, he's getting pushed back. He's getting pushed back 4 or 5 yards, and then he's making a tackle. And instead of it being 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, now it's 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4. But he gets credit for that tackle, and that's not a good tackle. Even on stretch plays, if he's supposed to hit a gap, right? If he's supposed to cut inside the tackles, like if the play is going to the defense's right, and he's supposed to cut inside the tackle's left hip, he doesn't do that. He gets blocked back, he's get pushed, and then he just spins right and then makes the tackle. And now again, it's still 2nd and 4 instead of it being 2nd and 8. You know what I'm saying? So that's a bad tackle to me.
I think a perfect example of that was the game Max Crosby was yelling at him multiple times.
And at the 5-yard line, exactly.
Yeah. Jason, you want to move on to the next segment?
Yeah, next segment, trenches win championships. I don't think any of these questions are going to come as a surprise to you. We kind of already went over the offensive line prospects. Those are those who are on the radar. Those are flying under the radar and whatnot. So one of the things that I've noticed is, and a lot of people are missing this, is there is good quality defensive line depth in this draft. I mean, just the 3 guys coming out of Texas Tech. You know, I mean, just those 3 guys alone are legitimate prospects. You know, I kind of like Zion Young, but I think he's going to be more of a 3 technique, even though he thinks he's an outside. He's the next up and coming Von Miller. He's not. I think he'd be a good 3 technique. But if we were to draft Tyree Wilson again, we would take him in the 4th round. Wouldn't you take him in the 4th round for what he can do?
Tyree?
Yeah, Tyree Wilson.
I'll take him in the 4th. He wouldn't. Would 4th rounders get 3 years? He wouldn't be on the team this year.
Yeah. But I mean, somebody like that, a prospect like that, I'd take him in the 4th round. And if he develops, and becomes a cornerstone of your interior defensive line, why not? Right?
Yeah.
So what's your take on the defensive line depth in college football and the prospects that will be in the draft?
I like it. I feel like there's more guys on day 2 than there is on day 1. I think the only day 1 guys you have is maybe Ruben Bain. I'm looking at it now. Ruben Bain, and we're just talking D line. We're not talking D and O line, right?
Right. All 4 positions though, from your wide, from going from your 9 all the way to your nose tackle and a 3-4.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I see Ruben Bain, Peter Woods, David Bailey. I think Cassius Howell might slip in there. That's pretty much it. I think Caden McDonald out of Ohio State. I think he'll go in the 1st round.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
that's
Christian Miller, I like him. He's out of Georgia. He's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I think you can get some guys on day 2, especially day 2, 2nd round and 3rd round. There's gonna be some guys on 2nd and 3rd round, especially like I spoke about earlier, Ahmad Moten. I think he's slated to go in the 4th round, which is crazy. If you watch that game, he was dominant, man.
Last night he was, and he laid it on the line too, because that boy was limping off after every series, but he still sucked it up and went back out there.
Yeah, he went crazy. But yeah, I think you can get some. Day 2 is where you can hit on the D tackle on the edge.
Yeah. What's it, you, Duncan?
One name that we've talked about a lot on Discord is Lee Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guy
from Texas Tech. Did you want to maybe go into detail on Lee Hunter and how good of a prospect he is and about what round you think he might be going in?
Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech, he's 6'3". I just had it pulled up. I want to give you some good measurements. 6'3", 335 pounds. 6'3", 6'4", 335 pounds. He reminds me of a taller Vince Wilfork. All right, he can plug the gap, but he's athletic enough, like a Chris Jones, to be able to catch a guy running on the backside stretch play. The guy's a run stopper. He's a dominant run stopper. And he has a little bit of athleticism to be able to pass rush too. So getting him, I think he's going to go. He could probably go in the 2nd. Just depends on how the draft falls. But if you can get him in the third round, that's an absolute steal.
No, definitely. Mesidor, guy from Miami, another probably day 2 guy.
He might slide in day 1. He might
go day 1.
He might
You watch him, man. I'm telling you. As much as all the flash and hype of Bane, I saw Mesidor more pop out than Bane. You know,
I think a team like the Rams or the Seahawks might try to get him at the end of the draft, like the end of day 1, because he's a plug and play guy. Especially if they lose somebody. Go ahead.
Breaking news from Adam Schefter. Former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel is expected to become the Chargers offensive coordinator, barring a change of heart.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's bad for us.
Very bad.
That's real bad.
Yeah. I wish they would have never fired Greg Roman. I like the Greg Roman offense for us.
Yeah, but I think Mike McDaniel could do more with Herbert than he could with Tua. It's just a matter. Oh,
do you think Herbert's more accurate than Tua though?
No. I don't.
After the last concussion, yeah.
That's the knock on Tua, man. I don't think that brain has been the same in the last couple of years. I really don't. I think he's it's almost like he tries to do too much and he doesn't have to. But hey, since we're on this topic with the interior line, I had mentioned earlier when we were backstage, I said, you know what? If we could get one of those guys from Texas Tech in the draft in the second round, that's a bonus, man. And like Hunter and Romelio Height, that's a guy. He's another guy that he's got a motor to him. It's not Max Crosby motor per se, but he's got a good motor to him, and
he's good. I think I spoke about this. I just don't. I think he's a 6-year senior because I think he was at Georgia Tech, and then he went somewhere else, and then he went to Texas Tech, and he didn't flash until he went to Texas Tech. And that as a 6-year senior, why is that? Is it because you got all these other guys around you? You know what I'm saying? So that kind of freaks me out and be like, I'm not going to take you on day 1 or day 2. That's just me. I wouldn't do it. And if he turns out to be good for him. But I just wouldn't. I wouldn't spend a high price pick on him. And I think high price pick is top 150. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you got me thinking about that too. Because where did Tyree Wilson come from?
Exactly. He was a 5th year. I think was he a 5th year senior?
Yeah.
Not sure.
He might have been a true senior or a 5th year senior, but he wasn't good until the year. Or he hurt his foot. I think. I don't know. But another guy it make you think of is a Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina. He was at Georgia Tech with Romello Height, and then he went to South Carolina and played with Dylan Stewart, and that's when he became good because he's playing with another dominant defensive end, and that's the only reason why you're good. And the South Carolina's defense was really good that year too, and that's the only reason why he flashed.
So you think maybe prospects from Texas Tech could end up being fool's gold in the NFL?
No, just Romello Height. I like a lot of guys from Texas Tech. I like
I like Hunter.
I like Hunter. I like Jacob Rodriguez. I like I think Wisniewski, the safety number 6. He's pretty good too.
Yeah.
And they got a corner that I like too. I can't remember his name.
No. Hey, who's that cornerback for South Carolina that I think he's a freshman or sophomore this year?
Brandon Cisse?
Yeah.
Nah, he's coming out. He's in the draft.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I like him.
So Texas Tech, they have David Bailey, Lee Hunter, Jacob Rodriguez, Skylar Gill Howard. I like him. And then the safety is Cole Wisniewski.
And then Romelio Height.
And Romelio Height. Yeah, but I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah, Jaw Raider, we just covered that.
height to me on the screen passes, how he was moving laterally and staying within the play, impressed me how he did that. But then again, now that you mention it, that could be an age thing versus he's a NFL body playing college football, and can he transition into the NFL with his NFL body?
NFL mind too.
Yeah. So, real quick, hit this one as fast as you can. Edge rushers, Raiders fans will fall in love with. You got any?
Edge rushers. Hold on, I can tell you. Hold on, I got them. I actually got them listed. My guys. Hold on. DN edge. I have. I'm not gonna go day one because obviously we're not getting a guy on day one. Gabe Jacobs out of Illinois. He's an intriguing guy. Joshua Joseph out of Tennessee. He's a guy. Derek Moore out of Michigan. Caden Curry out of Ohio State. That's a good name. He's a 1-year starter at Ohio State, but he was dumb. He was really good. And Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. Yeah, those are guys I say. Those are the names.
Where do you see Mason Thomas fitting in there? I like Mason Thomas.
R. Mason Thomas. Did I say him? R. Mason Thomas is pretty good too.
Yeah,
he's going to be at the Senior Bowl, so it's going to be good for him.
Yeah, that'll be good for him because I know he benefited from a good, really good, strong linebacker core as well. That helped him out quite a bit. So
he'll have an opportunity to push himself to end of round one, I think, in the Senior Bowl.
All right. Now we're going to get to the final question of this category. Name one prospect you would pound the table for, regardless of draft slot. Now think outside the box a little bit. It doesn't matter the position. It doesn't matter. It's just this is the guy.
There's
the
only
kicker
one
from
right
Ole
answer.
Miss. No, I'm just playing.
There's only one right answer from Jason.
Yep, only one right answer from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna go a first round guy. I love Caleb Downs too, but I was gonna try somebody that's like day 2, day 3.
Yeah.
Let me think. Give me 3 seconds, because I got a couple guys I'm thinking of. I can only say one.
Yeah, it's just one.
I'm gonna go D'Angelo Pons. D'Angelo Pons is a baller. He's a football player.
Yeah.
He's a football player. He's small, but he's a football player.
He's aggressive too.
Yeah. He tackles. He's fast. He's sticky. He's a football player.
A lot of people are hung up on his height, but really, in all honesty, I think he's a better version of Meek Robertson.
For sure. I don't know if you remember this guy from Denver Broncos, Darren Williams, number 27 for the Denver Broncos. He got shot in a club, like in 2007 or 8. He had a saying, and I used it when I played football: if God would have made me 6'1", it wouldn't be fair for everybody else.
Well, that brings it. A kid of mine that when I worked at this high school for 4 years is named Jacob DeJesus. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah.
Jacob DeJesus. He went to Manteca High School. I worked at Manteca High School for 4 years, and he went to school there, and I got to know him real well and his dad real well. God bless, may his dad rest in peace. Passed away from cancer this past year. Good friend of mine. But Jacob, same thing, man. I look at that kid and I go, man, if God made you 6'1", it would be over for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody would be able to stop him.
Yeah.
And he did some amazing things this year at Cal. He broke Keenan Allen's receiving record at 100 receptions, 1,000 yards, all ACC. In the kick return, he was second team All-American at UNLV when he played at UNLV as a kick returner. But man, I mean, it just sucked. I mean, we would be at school and we would have Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Alabama, all these guys showing up for at the school for recruiting, and we'd take them out to the football field, and the recruiters were just like, "Damn, if he was only like 3 inches taller," you know. But the kid, I tell you what, man, you ever get to talk to the kid? I'm hoping to have him come on the show. I reached out to him, see if he'd come on the show because he's a Raider fan too.
Okay.
And talk about it, but he's going to be super busy the next 4 months, so it's probably going to be difficult because he's got to do everything he can.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First and foremost, hopefully he gets an invite to the combine. So, but anyways, before we go to the next category,
is he going to any All-Star games?
I don't know. I think he might be playing in the East-West. I'll have to I'll check tomorrow. Get back to you on that. I haven't even been. He was busy after the Hawaii Bowl. He kind of took a little vacation and all that stuff, and kind of tuned out a little bit on the text messaging and the Twitter. So
yeah, I don't see him on here.
Yep. But your answer for the last question, Pawns, ties in perfectly for our next segment for defense, dogs and dogs. College defensive backs with Raider attitude. Pawns definitely fits that. I mean, he plays so aggressively and tough and plays like he's 5 inches taller than he is. Is there any other defensive backs that you could think of that might be coming into this draft that play tough like that?
Yeah, there's a few. D'Angelo Pons, obviously. Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. He's good. Obviously, Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs will be like the perfect guy for us to get. Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. AJ Halsey out of LSU. I'm gonna try to give y'all some lesser known names. Chandler Rivers out of Duke. Keontae Scott, Miami. Hold on. Let me give you a guy that I haven't. Keith Abney out of Arizona State. You heard of him?
No, I have not.
That's a new one for me.
Keith Abney out of man. That's a guy. Now he's on I think he's like 5'9". I think he's like 5'9", 5'10", but he tackles, he covers, and he does everything. Keith Abney is a guy.
6 foot 190.
I don't think he's that tall.
Yeah. You know, once you're 5, if you're 5'10", they make you 6 foot in the stat report on the roster.
If he is, that's really good for him. But I think he's more 5'9"ish. One more name I'll say. I want to give you a lesser known guy. Hold on. I had him. I just looked at it. Did I say Chandler Rivers?
Yes.
Yeah, from Duke. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Okay. Oh, Genesis Smith, out of Arizona. He's a safety out of Arizona. He's pretty good too. He has some things he needs to work on, but he's a day 3 guy that you can get and like sit behind a vet, and in 2 years he'll be a starter.
Man.
Linebackers. I mean, we're sorely lacking in the talent department and linebackers, and most of them aren't going to be on the roster next year unless we re-sign them.
Hopefully not.
Where are some up-and-coming linebackers who can both tackle and cover?
Okay. Sonny Styles. The top 3 are CJ Allen, Sonny Styles, and Anthony Hill Jr. Torian York is 5'11", but if you pay attention to the Seattle Seahawks defense, Torian York is Drake Thomas, a better version of Drake Thomas. And I watched Drake Thomas coming out of North Carolina State. He was pretty good. Torian York is better than him. Josiah Trotter out of Missouri.
Thank you.
Jeremiah Trotter's son. He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to work on his pass coverage, but he's pretty damn good.
He's good downhill. He's really good downhill. But you're right. Dropping back and covering a second or a third, he struggles with that.
Honestly, man, I'm looking at this list and it's a lot of guys. Torian York, Josiah Trotter, Lander Barton, Raylan Wilson out of Georgia, Jacob Rodriguez, Jayshon Barham, Aiden Fisher. Fisher's a guy. Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh. He's small. And Justin Jefferson out of Alabama. There's some guys. Owen Heineke out of Oklahoma.
That's the one I want. I want him not so much for his talent or ability, but he's a quarterback he would make a great quarterback of the defense. He's a Green Dot. He's a Green Dotter.
Yeah, he's going to be at the East West Shrine Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Fisher fits that. Also, the Green Dot guy. He was the commander in chief of that Indiana defense.
Yeah.
Though Miami did take advantage of him a little bit. They were kind of playing off of him when they were able to get some drives going. Fisher got caught out of place because he was trying to be a little too aggressive.
And it goes back to do your job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any good turnover creators, like guys who are just ball hawks who just somehow, some way they always seem to find that ball?
Keith Abney. Keith Abney is a guy. AJ Halsey. Those are the only two guys I can think of off the top of my head. Is Keith Abney and AJ Halsey out of LSU. Brandon Cisse, he's from South Carolina. He didn't have a lot of interceptions, I don't think, but he's very long. He's very, very, very long. He reminds me of Antonio Cromartie.
You know what I like about Cisse was his man-to-man coverage on the deep routes and how disciplined he was and staying hip to hip and not using his hands to he literally would turn and run and be hip to hip with the receiver and only have to tap him with his hand to index him. He didn't have to do have to arm bar him or anything like that. And then as the play would develop and go into the end zone, he had great ball concepts too whenever it was a long throw. So I really like him. But anyways, go ahead.
Chris Johnson too. But go ahead.
Now, on who fits the silver and black mentality more, like who would fit our team better, like what we want to see out of our players, would you draft more of an attitude or a more well-polished player?
Well-polished.
Well-polished. Do your job. Attitude can come later.
Yeah. I want you to do what I tell you to do, when I tell you to do it, how I tell you to do it, why I tell you to do it. I don't want you to go off and do your own thing on this one play, and now they see something on film, and then they be able to, you know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of a corner that we didn't re-sign after during this last offseason. AP's guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's keyed off on all the short routes, and all of a sudden everybody was throwing over top of him.
Yeah, double move. You hit with double move. He's Jack Jones.
Yeah, Jack Jones. There you go.
Yeah, Jack Jones was very susceptible to the double move.
Yeah. Our next segment, Jason, is our lightning round. Some rapid fire questions, quick hitters.
So the following round Dark side. Well, that's not. We're not going to wrap this. This isn't the wrap up show, but we're going to just get into the lightning round here, and these are closed, rapid fire questions. When I give you the question, it's just one phrase, one name, or one specific thing. All right.
Okay.
Try not to overthink it.
Okay.
All right. And I know, knowing your knowledge and whatnot, I think you'll fly right through this real easy. So the first question: sleeper prospect Raider fans aren't talking about.
Keith Abney.
Yeah, and you got me on that one.
Mhm.
I haven't followed Arizona State that much this year, other than watching a little bit of Levitt play. I watched a few offensive series, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Position Raiders must draft no matter what.
Linebacker.
Best college program for Raider style players. He's thinking about it.
Indiana, my bad. You said don't think. Indiana.
You thought about it. That's surprising that you said. I thought you would have said Miami players would fit more our style than Indiana.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be a homer.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Overrated college star.
Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
That's the receiver, right?
From Arizona State. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he overrated?
He's good. He just always hurt. He was hurt this year. He was hurt last year. That's the reason why That's the reason why Cam Scatterboo and Arizona State didn't win, because he was hurt in the CFP. He was always hurt. He's good again.
What about Chris Bell from Louisville?
I like Chris Bell. He's hurt too. He always hurt.
Did you see that play where he pulled his hamstring and still outran the secondary?
Yeah.
I was like, about 20 yards into the route, he started grabbing his hamstring. He's like on 1.5 legs, and he's still outrunning the secondary. I was like,
he beat Miami by himself.
Yeah, he's a game. I have a feeling he's got Darren Waller hamstrings, because that wasn't the only game that he pulled his hamstring. About 3 or 4 games later, he did the same thing on an in route, and he went to turn up field, and it was like 3 or 4 steps in. It was like, oh, and then he went down. I was like, oh, man, that was gonna. He only had one guy to beat. He would have beat that guy.
Yeah, I also say overrated. I also say Arvell Reese if he plays off-ball linebacker.
I could see that.
So we're gonna kind of dive into this a little bit more. I'm on the Fernando train, but I've been on the Fernando train for a while. I'm not going to take that you don't know what you're talking about, because I call bullshit. Been watching this kid for 2 years now. Okay. And anybody out there that wants to say, oh, you're just being a homer, even Raider Jeff, I told him back in September to keep an eye on this kid, because he is going to be something special. Keep an eye on him.
Oh, trade.
You know, and watched a lot of, and whenever somebody tells me that you need to go watch film, I can bring my wife in here right now and she'll tell you how many times I watched Indiana play this year. And it started way before anybody even knew who Fernando Mendoza was. And I watched Indiana last year with Curtis Rourke. I was impressed with that kid.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was solid.
Now
you could tell he wasn't like. But my bad. Go ahead.
Now the skipper, the pilot of the program, he's big on trading back. He's big on getting more picks. But I'm not one to take quantity over quality.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm not one to take quantity over quality. So if you have a quality pick at where you're at, why not take it?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'd rather have, especially we got 3 4th-round picks. I'd rather use those picks straight up into the top 3 and get. I'd rather have instead of 10 picks, I'd rather have 6 as long as they're picked in a certain spot. You know what I'm saying? Because your percentage on hitting on those picks are higher if you draft them higher, because you're getting better prospects, obviously.
Yeah. Now that flips over to the other side is to if we trade back, and my take on it is if you're going to trade back, got to have a plan, right?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And it's got to be okay. We're not absolutely 100% sold on this pick right here, but we got trade offers, and the only option I see in the top 5 as a good trade back partner would be the Jets, because they got a lot of draft capital, right?
You talking about the first round?
Yeah, for that first pick. I don't want. Okay, just so we know, I don't want to not draft Fernando Mendoza, right?
Okay.
I don't. But if we do, you got to have that but, right? Everybody likes a but every now and then, right?
Yeah.
If we do, the only team I would do would be trade with is the Jets, and I want a trade package exactly what the Bears and the Panthers had 2 years ago, and that's going to be 3 top 50 picks, maybe even a 4th round. And next year's, I want you number 1 next year, because I know you're not going to be that good next year. If you draft Mendoza and you want to give up draft capital to go get Mendoza, I know you're going to be fighting for the number 1 pick next year. So give me that pick plus your 2 picks this year. I want your 2nd and your 3rd round this year. Unless you go, well, what if we give you Garrett Wilson? Okay. I want your 2 first picks this year, your 1st pick next year, and I'll take your 3rd round this year with Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
So you're going to give us Garrett Wilson in exchange for our 2nd round pick.
Gotcha.
So now we can get Arvell Reese at number 2. And at number 16, which is house money, we could probably look at solidifying the offensive line. You know,
Why you shake your head now?
I would rather take Downs than Reese. And then if we're going for an edge player, there's 2 other guys I'd rather have. But it's preference for me. But, I mean, Jason's point is...
I'm trying not to be a homer, dude.
Get your talent. Well,
every time I say Downs, people freaking yell at me for it.
He's the best player in the draft.
But so I would personally if we're trading back, you take Caleb Downs. He has to be one of those guys. And then around 16, if he's still there, you're getting Bailey from Tech.
Yeah.
Pair him up across from Max. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are going to have 2 seconds, period, to throw the ball. Otherwise, they're taking a sack.
And Caleb Downs right now, you put Caleb Downs in that secondary, he right now will make Porter and Stokes that much better.
Yeah.
He will, the type of leader that he is and how he commands and how he plays the game, he will make those 2 guys better. But as I said earlier, the one thing that has eluded us for so long is that franchise quarterback. Derek Carr was set to be a franchise quarterback for us, but it just didn't get there. I mean, he was stable. I mean, to have a quarterback for 9 years and be to do what he did, and he had a couple really good years. 1 year he was in the running for MVP. I get it, but we never did him any justice by getting him a defense that would supplement what he was doing on offense. So it made it very difficult for us to win those games.
Yeah. This comment sums it up. All 3 of us on here, we're 100% on the Mendoza train. If we're not picking Mendoza, we're not looking to win next year. That's simple. It's like you need a quarterback to build off of in today's NFL, and you need a defense opposite of him to really control the game. You just need that perfect balance. But simply put, we trade back, we get a bunch of draft capital. Okay, we end up being a team that once again scrapes by, and we end up picking at pick number 9, 10, 12, 15, whatever, and we're not in a position to get a quarterback next year. Yeah. Like, take your quarterback now. We're in the perfect position to get him. Take him.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just keep it simple.
You suck so bad that you won the prize. Take your prize.
Yeah. Like, don't kick the can down the road. We got to stop doing that crap. I'm tired of this whole trying to play smart with the draft picks. We started finally doing the right thing and taking BPA with Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it again last offseason in the draft, taking Genty. We are finally getting blue chip caliber players in the building, and our next one needs to be Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
That three-headed monster of an offense between Mendoza, Genty, and Bowers, that is a long-term plan of success for this Raiders franchise.
100%.
Do not skip out on that opportunity.
100%.
So I'm going to ask you this question, Darkside. Which would you rather have? And this is for anybody that's in the chat that's paying attention. Skipper, if you're there. I hope you're there. If not, we'll rewind this back for you. Which would you rather have? A talented quarterback or a great quarterback? And can you tell me the difference between the two?
I'd rather have a great quarterback. A talented quarterback, again, it's like you have a Jay Cutler. That's what I see when I hear talented quarterback. Someone who has like great arm strength. Jay Cutler is very underrated for his arm strength. He could throw the ball probably 80 yards if he wanted to. Or Anthony Richardson, throw the ball a mile, right? You run, right? That's a talented quarterback. Great quarterback is, I don't want to use like the obvious names, the Peyton Mannings and stuff, but it's the Peyton Manning, the Andrew Luck, right? So those are the great quarterbacks, in my opinion. I'd rather have the Andrew Lucks, who's gonna, again, I value accuracy over how hard you can throw the ball. Put the ball where I need it to be, when I need it to be there. So
yeah. I got a few questions I want to ask, just because I know without us having a coach, all this stuff is extremely critical, because you really want to build your roster around your coach, especially because you plan on having that coach set the franchise up for success and have them for a long time.
Yeah.
And you want the team around them to do that. So who are your top candidates for coaches? And I'm going to request that you name at least one defensive and one offensive guy.
Okay. So my top candidate is Chris Shula. I love Chris Shula. I love everything he's done. And I didn't get on the Chris Shula train until Duncan put me on, because I was a Jesse Mentor guy. But Chris Shula, with the defense that the Rams have, you can't name outside of Jared Verse, you can't name anybody on that defense. And some people don't even know who Jared Verse is, right? Their starting corners are Kobe Durant, who is from South Carolina State. He had an interception this last game in the playoffs. He's 5'9", 5'10", barely 190 pounds. So he fits the D'Angelo Punz is basically him, but better. And then the other guy's Emmanuel Forbes, who's a former first-round pick of the Washington Commanders, who was traded because they didn't think he was good enough. You know what I'm saying? And then their two safeties are day 3 picks. One's a 7th-round pick, and I think the other one's maybe a UDFA, right? The linebackers. Am I getting too deep into this?
No, that's awesome.
Okay. Their linebackers are unknown. Omar Speights, and I'm just going off of my brain. Yep. Omar Speights and I can't think of the other guy's name, but they're solid, but they're not household names. And I told you
not being able to think of his name just goes into more of your point.
And then their D line, the whole unit is led by their D line. They have a 1st-round pick in Jared Verse. They have a 3rd-round pick in Byron Young. They have Braden Fisk, who's a 2nd-round pick. And I don't know who the other D tackle is, but their whole unit is led by the whole defense is led by that unit, right? So what he's done with that is great, is phenomenal to me, right? He teaches them, like I've been watching his interviews and I watched some of their off-season tape, and the way he talks about the game, the way he teaches the game is great, is phenomenal to me. And I want that as a leader of my whole team. I want him to delegate that. I want him to say, offensive coordinator, this is what I want, this is why I want it, and make sure you do it, right? Defense coordinator, this is how I want to run my scheme. Make sure you do it this way. I know he's going to delegate the right way. And he comes from he has a legendary name. And he's not just using that name to get by, because he could easily be with the Dolphins right now as like an intern with them, but that's not the route that he chose. So yeah, that's my number one guy. Number two is JC Mentor. I won't go too deep into him, but number two is JC Mentor. Number three is Nate Shieldhouse, who's a passing game coordinator for the Rams. I like Sean McVay, guys. That's why I chose him. And number four was Mike McDonald, but he's gone.
So Jaw Raiders breaking some news here for us. Breaking, Albert Sports San Francisco is reporting via Clint Kubiak has a Zoom call tomorrow with the Raiders. Now that the Rooney Rule is done and satisfied, the Raiders can make Clint Kubiak a head coach, even though he is still in the playoffs.
I'm not a fan of Clint Kubiak. That's just all this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
That was my next question: is what top candidate that is being linked to the Raiders do you not like, and can you explain why?
Well, it's obviously the answer is Clint Kubiak. He's just. I know he had some good, the 2 or 3 good games with the Saints, but once Derek Carr went down, the whole season, the whole offense just sputtered, right? And you still had Alvin Kamara, right? Why were you not able to generate some kind of offense when you have one of the best running backs in the game? I don't know if he got hurt, but you still had him. I don't know, man.
But having Desmond Ritter, man, that's. Or not Ritter.
It was Spencer Rattler. Yeah. I understand that. So I'll give him a little pass. But my real main thing is, like I said earlier in the stream, when you watch the Ben Johnson years with the Lions whole identity was Ben Johnson and the offense. If he didn't have a good game, the Lions wasn't going to win. If Ben Johnson messed up, the Lions didn't have a chance on winning. Then he's really the reason why Aaron Glenn got a job, to be honest with you. And the defense was okay, but the reason why Aaron Glenn got a job is because he knew that Ben Johnson was probably going to put up 35 points, so he could just tell his defensive line to pin their ears back and get sacks. He can be more aggressive because he could take chances because the offense was going to do their job. Mm-hmm. As far as the Seattle Seahawks, Clint Kubiak, they're not led by him. It's Mike McDonald and the defense. He's not running the show. And if I get somebody I want my head coach to be, again, like I want my players, I want my head coach to be the reason why that former team was winning. Mm-hmm. Again, Indiana, Fernando Mendoza is the reason why Indiana won the national championship, because obviously if they didn't do it last year with Curtis Rourke, you know what I'm saying? He comes in and now they get over that hump because he's that much better.
Yeah. So as much as we want to draw credit to certain aspects of football, whether it be the quarterback or the coach, eventually we have to understand it takes both of them. And then it takes the rest of the coaches as well to filter through and do their job. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes a successful team. I mean, the Patriot way, that's the way the Patriots were. As much as I hate to say it, it funneled down. Even though you had Belichick and Brady had a good working relationship for the most throughout their heyday, it took the other pieces to fold in to help that whole program build itself. And even with John Gruden, when John Gruden first got here back in the early 2000s, it took, Willie, what was it? Willie Thomas was the first defensive coordinator, and he put together a really good defensive unit. They weren't the Baltimore Ravens by any means, but they were good. They were solid. And then the offense came around, and you had offensive coaches you had coaches on the offensive side of the ball that really helped and nurture. One of those being Jim Harbaugh. Was a quarterback. Was Rich Gannon's quarterback?
Quarterback coach. Yeah.
So I like where I like Kubiak is he comes from that fundamental Kyle Shanahan philosophy, and he's had success. Where he had some success in New Orleans. Unfortunately, New Orleans in and of itself with Dennis Allen, that whole program it did itself in. I think in Seattle, what he's done this year in Seattle has been remarkable, and people tend to forget Sam Darnold's resurrection of his career began in San Francisco when Kubiak was the quarterback's coach there. So, and that the quarterback's coach and the backup quarterback spend more time together than the quarterback coach and the starting quarterback, because they're usually running, they're putting together a lot of the scout type stuff, running some scout plays and things like that. So they're spending a lot more time together in the room and during drills than what the starting quarterback would be doing. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And we talked about this a bunch in the Discord, so I kind of knew what your answer was and kind of the route you were going to go. But just to give some pushback, you mentioned with Kubiak how he isn't the guy in Seattle. It's Mike McDonald, their head coach. Could the same thing be said about the Rams and Shula? Because their guy is McVay.
Yeah. I don't agree with I know Sean McVay is the best offensive mind in the league right now, but the reason why they won on Sunday is because of Chris Shula and that defense. He held Ben Johnson to essentially 17 points, right? He held Ben Johnson and that offense to 17 points when the previous week, I think they put up like 37 or 38 points. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he does his part.
Yeah.
He does. I guess it's like it's a little biased, I guess. And the reason why I say that, another reason why I don't really like the pressing issue of grabbing a Clint Kubiak is because everybody's saying we get Fernando Mendoza. He needs to get an offensive guy who can mold with him and do this, that, and the third. But you got to understand, Tom Brady is going to be this guy's quarterback coach. He's going to have a quarterback coach assigned to the team, but he's going to learn everything from Tom Brady. He doesn't need Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, he's going to be drinking coffee with Brady, discussing a lot of this stuff. And that's where a lot of the home runs come from. I'm going to push back a little bit from a different angle on your dark side, because that's what we kind of do when we debate and discuss. I'm going to push back. I'm leaning on the offensive side as categorically having an offensive-minded head coach. It's a play caller that structures the offense and controls the offense from the head coaching position. And we draft a quarterback, protects us from losing any talented coaches in the future that will take away from that quarterback. Meaning, if we go with a defensive-minded head coach, but we get this really outstanding offensive coordinator that comes in and really fires up Mendoza and makes him an all-pro, that offensive coordinator is gone. He's going to go be a head coach somewhere else. Now we got to start all over. It's the old mindset with Derek Carr. How many offensive coordinators Derek Carr had in his career? Had we been able to lock down Musgrave and not fire him and locked him down for another 3 years, I think Derek Carr would have had a much better career and I'd be still coaching on our team. Be playing on our team.
Yeah.
I disagree a bit with that, Jason, just because we kept firing the guys with Carr. We didn't get our guys taken away from us. We kept firing them. But your point is
no. The point being is changing offensive. It doesn't matter how they're changed. Just the fact that they're being changed,
which was what I was going to say. But your main point is we have that possibility of losing our offensive coordinators,
right,
for them to become head coaches,
right,
if they find a lot of success.
And we
Which-
kept our defensive coordinator for 4 years, and that didn't help much.
But what I was going to say is that the important point is if you are going to go with a defensive head coach, there is a bunch of ex-head coaches that are offensive guys that are really good offensive play callers. I mean, there's a reason why they became head coaches. It's because they had really good offenses where they were at before they were head coaches. So, like Dable, I'm not a huge fan of him, but he got the head coaching position for the Giants because he called a good offense with the Bills, and he trained up, taught their quarterback over there. And there's quite a few guys that have that pedigree of just being good play callers, and they're just not good head coaches. I mean, look at McDaniels. We gave him a shot after his disaster stint with the Broncos because he called a good game with the Patriots. There's a bunch of guys like that.
No.
And what I was gonna say is, you could always say, okay. I mean, you could always go into it with a plan. If it was me, again, I would get Chris Shula. I would hire Chris Shula, and then my offensive guy would be a Sean McVay, not protege, but he would come from that Sean McVay tree, right? And then if he did get a head coaching job in 3 years, okay, that's cool. I'm just gonna get another guy from the Sean McVay tree, either his pass game coordinator, his run game coordinator, whoever that next offensive guy was. I would just get him and make him my offense coordinator, and then I just keep doing it over and just keep recycling it. Just keep plucking off of his tree.
Yeah, because one of the things with Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan as well, and they both come from the same. The two of those really you could pick from either one of those coaching trees, and the reason being is not only they coach players, but they coach coaches.
Exactly,
which is really important. Coaching your coaches.
You have to be a great teacher.
DT Raiders saying Sean McDermott. It's not a bad choice. Defensive mind, but offensive was pretty good. Yes,
defensive
no.
coordinator.
Yeah, McDermott. My problem with him is he reminds me a lot of Patrick Graham in the sense of his defense sometimes looked like it was the best defense ever to play the game, and then the next week they can completely collapse and give up 40 points.
Yeah.
Like it is very hit or miss on his game plans from week to week because he really does try to structure it against who they're playing against, which sometimes it's great, but it's bit them in the butt every single year in the playoffs. So, but he always had his guys playing tough for him, so he is definitely a leader of men. And the other downside with the Bills organization is their drafting is not the greatest.
No,
like their talent, I would not say they're a top tier talented team. They got a great quarterback and they have a really good offensive line, and they have some good defensive players, but as a unit, they play well together. So McDermott definitely coaches his guys up. It's just I don't like the inconsistency of his defenses with him being a defensive guy.
Yeah, I think they've only.
But he was solid as a defensive coordinator, though.
Yeah, with the Panthers, yeah.
And what were you going to say, Darkside?
Sorry about that.
I think they've only had 2 Pro Bowlers since he's been there. Allen and Cooks.
Didn't they have a cornerback?
Trey White. He probably made a Pro Bowl, but that's still not good. He was there for 8 years.
Yeah.
That linebacker they have isn't bad either. He gets hurt a lot.
Tremaine Edmonds. Yeah, he always hurt.
No, what's the other guy?
Oh, Matt Milano.
Milano. I was going to say the Italian guy.
Yeah, he's a free agent this year too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. He's steady and he's very knowledgeable. You could tell he really studies the game, the way he plays.
DT Raiders coming up with, but they were in the playoffs every year. Yeah, but there is a reason why the Bills fired them. Is they could not win the big game. I mean, it's miles ahead of where we are as a franchise for the past 20 years. But is the goal to just be a playoff team, or is the goal to win that Super Bowl and try to find a way to keep making that Super Bowl?
All right.
Like, do you set the bar low and keep achieving that, and then set the bar a little higher, or do you set that bar up high and set mini goals to get to that high bar?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different philosophies on how you want to find your ultimate success.
And my issue with McDermott was he would change philosophies in the middle of the game. This last game, perfect example, and last year against Kansas City as well, is you had a running back that was hot. I mean, he was hot. He was cooking. He had 70 yards rushing in the first half. He was cooking. And he put the ball – I understand he put the ball on the ground, lost a fumble, but also, too, that's not an excuse to take the ball out of his hands and not give him another carry until late in the third quarter, fourth quarter. You know, so you got to – the basic principles, and when I met with John Madden – in the parking lot at the Oakland Coliseum one time, one of the questions I asked him, I said, well, what is it going to take for us to be a better team? And he said, you got to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to run the ball and stop the run. This is the only formula that will ever work in the NFL. You have to be able to run the ball and stop the run. If you can't do either one of those, you can't win. Simple as that. You can have the prettiest 70-yard bomb, fastest wide receivers, but you still have to be, and it's not so much, where you have to chop up 150, 180 yards every game. Sometimes a 70 or 80 yard game from like Genty is just as good as a 120 yard game.
Yeah.
And it's all dynamic of how you play the game itself and stay within the confines of the game. Stick to the basics that work and how football was invented in the first place, and let the rest of it take care of itself. And so that's in and of itself. But I got one last little tidbit. Whenever I talk about Fernando Mendoza and how I am about Fernando Mendoza is because I've studied Fernando Mendoza. And it's not just because I send you a short does not mean that short doesn't have some meaning to it. That was the final drive of the Penn State game. And that in and of itself will cure all ads of what you feel about that kid. He's tough, he's resilient, and he has what it takes when the game is on the line to bring you into fold. So to accuse me of not knowing what I'm doing, that's false. You're more than you're Raider Rebel. You're more than welcome. You're invited on my show anytime, brother. Clip that. Got anything else? I just had to say that so we get that out of the way.
Well, I think we'll be wrapping up the show here pretty soon. So, Darkside OB, you want to tell us about your channel and where people can find your content?
Yeah. I don't even remember. I just started it. The name is Darkside_OB. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok.
Let me get that. Give me just a minute. I'll get that clip for you. Go ahead. Keep talking.
So my content, especially on YouTube, is basically just me giving my random thoughts. Like if I start thinking about something late at night or early in the morning, and I just start looking at film, start looking at a guy, I want to talk about it. And my whole reasoning of doing it is I've been watching guys do it for 10, 15 years, and I'm like, half the stuff they saying I already thought of. Why not just make a channel and just talk about it too? And just get my thoughts out there. If you agree with it, you agree with it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And nobody's 100% right. I just want to get my thoughts out there and just compare myself to, everybody else. See if I would have, if it was right or if it was wrong. And then again, I got thick skin. I don't care about being wrong. I don't care about nobody telling me I was wrong. I'm all for a good debate, and I just need you to tell me the why. I'm really big on why. If you have an opinion on something, I respect it, but again, you have to tell me why that's your opinion. Don't just say because of that's how you feel, but what's the reasoning behind it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah.
And that leads me back to this whole Fernando Mendoza thing. I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm like, I hear one content creator goes, he just doesn't have the dog in him. Excuse me?
I don't know. Yeah, you're not watching the same film.
Look at Bueno's picture. He's got the dog in him.
Yeah. But
Right.
in the long run, and that's just it. A lot of times, some of these comments that I hear are people that really haven't watched him. You know what I mean? And you could go back and watch quote unquote tape. Who really does? I mean, a lot of people, they don't watch tape. I don't watch all 22 tape. I'm not going to go out and get coaches tape on. I'm not going to spend all that money to do that for what? Just for a hobby? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I will watch a game over. I TiVo a lot. I DVR a lot of those games where, if I get up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I'll watch that game again. I watched last night's game again. I've watched it twice already, and everything that I saw, he checked all the boxes that, like, some people had said, is he tough? And I'm like, well, I remember last year at Cal, when they played Miami, he got ear-holed. He scrambled up the middle. It was a quarterback draw, and he got ear-holed. The defensive back got ejected for targeting because he just straight threw his arms back and used the tip of his helmet just right in the ear hole. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And somehow he miraculously passed concussion protocol. And
what game was this?
It was against Miami.
Okay, you talking about Basaint? Yeah, number 31.
Yeah, Basaint 31. Yeah, he ear-holed him. I mean, he straight up. Back in the day, that we would call that a good hit, but today it's illegal. You can't do that. Kind of like last night, number 8 on that option play. Now, a lot of people don't realize the quarterback on an option run is you can still hit him. So you're not going to get you can't get a roughing the passer for hitting him 4 steps afterwards, right? Because he's not a passer. He's an option. But where the penalty came in was he literally threw his arms back behind his shoulders and used the tip of his helmet to hit him right under the chin, which is, that's how we played football back in the day, but you can't do that no more. That's supposed to be a penalty. But hey, I'm not. And the one good thing about that, I don't know if you guys noticed. Did you notice Mendoza get up and scream and yell at the ref and make a fool of himself?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he didn't do that. He's like, all right.
Oh, okay.
It reminded me. Remember the longest yard with Paul Crew out on the blacktop with Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was just beating the tar out of him, and he goes, no. He wipes the blood. No, man, that was a good play. That was a good play. that was a good play.
You talking about the dude that said something about Butterfingers? I ate popcorn or something? Talking about him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to save this comment for last because that's total bullshit. I mean, look at the Bears. They had nothing. They drafted their quarterback next offseason. They fully invested in their offensive line, got their coach. Boom. All of a sudden, they're a playoff team, and they made it to the divisional rounds. Look at the Patriots. They're most likely going to make it to the Super Bowl now. They had a roster arguably way worse than ours. I would say they're worse than ours because they ended up taking 3 of our players, and they got better.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that you cannot have Super Bowl aspirations when you're at the bottom. If you're not reaching for the stars, what are you reaching for? A branch so it could break and you fall back down? No, that's total bullshit. If the ultimate goal is not the Super Bowl, why are you playing the game? Are you going to be a Jerry Jones and just raking that money? No. You need to reach for that Super Bowl. If that Super Bowl is not your aspirations, then you're in the wrong business. It is very possible after 1, 2, 3 off seasons to hit that Super Bowl. And we've already got great pieces and Bowers and Genty. We add that quarterback to them. All of a sudden that offense is clicking. Get a couple veteran offensive linemen, draft a couple offensive linemen. All of a sudden our offensive line's turned around. It is very, very possible to make a Super Bowl in a short time span. And there's 2 shitty-ass teams that all of a sudden became great teams this season that are proof.
There was actually 3 in the playoffs that were 4-13, 5-12 last year. It was
Carolina,
Carolina,
Pats,
the
and
Bears, and the Patriots.
yeah.
And then you
But-
saw what the Colts did this year. The Colts were, until their quarterback got hurt, and they were bringing some old guy off the couch to try and recover the season. There was, you can turn it around quickly and admirably. And I agree with you 100%, Duncan. It can be done. You got to do it.
It's all about making the right moves.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said,
starts with the
there's
head
multiple
coach.
different philosophies on how to get to the top. But if getting to the top is not your main goal, then why are you in this business?
Yep.
Like, you can definitely set the short-term goals for yourself to set your franchise up for success down the road. But the ultimate goal should always be the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Flat out, plainly, that's it.
So, anyways, we're 2 hours into this episode. Darkside, you're more than welcome. You're invited on our show anytime. When we get backstage, we'll chop it up a little bit more once this is over. So once everything queues up, we'll have a off air meeting, kind of talk about the show tonight. For those of you guys thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll get this published. We'll get some shorts out for you guys as well. Keep coming back. We're going to have more and more people just like Darkside on this channel. And I put the link for his channel in the chat. For those of you guys that don't have it, grab it, subscribe to his channel, set those alerts, that bell, set it to all. Okay, so you get those alerts and hit those thumbs up, man, because the more you hit the thumbs up on every show that we get the thumbs up, it creates an algorithm that starts to push us up more and more and more, and we start to get more and more people come in and watch our show. But like I said earlier, I ain't perfect, but I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about, and I'm confident in what I'm talking about, and I'm not gonna put stuff out there that I'm not confident with. But at the same time, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of people that should really pay more attention, especially last night's game. I heard some content creators say that Mendoza looked like he was trash last night. Trash. They use the word trash. I didn't see his stat line didn't look all that great, but you start to watch and see how he moved that team down the field and how he played. You being a Miami fan, what did you think?
Yeah, I was mad. I was upset. He was, like I said, man, he put the ball where he needed to put the ball at, man. And then when he did run, the dude just good, man. You can't say that he's not good. If he would have been playing anybody else, we would have won.
Yeah.
Good night, Bueno.
Well, Jason, as you have your online rants or feuds on people questioning your intelligence, which you definitely got it. Darkside OB, definitely very intelligent guy, has great content already. I highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel and his TikTok also, right?
Yeah, I got TikTok too.
Yeah. Very good content. He goes into depth on everything, and his thoughts aren't just shallow waters. Like, he goes into depth. He really breaks down what he's thinking, talks about it, and then it's just, I don't know how to put it other than it's great. So definitely go check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah, the 4 episodes that I've seen so far have been phenomenal, and I've been pounding the turf for you. And what's the old saying? I've been kind of pimping you out a little bit.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Sacktown Raider Mike, for subscribing.
Yeah, we'll get more. And I'm gonna go over to the Skipper show. Just started 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna lock in I'm a moderator on his channel, so I'll also throw your link on there as well. So that usually has, I think yesterday he had over 300 people following him.
Okay.
On the show. So we'll get you out there, and then likewise the same. Some of the other shows that I don't know if you've watched them or not, Wednesday nights is 805 Raider. with Severe Raider and Chris Protect the Shield. They got a really good show. Raider Rebel Paul, even though we have a little squabble right now, he's got a good show. I love the kid. I love him to death. But man, when he said that, I'm like, come on, man. I've been on your show for how long now? But the thing of it is, I think he's missing the name because I changed my. It doesn't have Jason Downs anymore on it. It says Raiders First Downs. So
Okay.
might think it's somebody else. Who else? The cage match, they're fun to watch on Wednesdays. They kind of make it fun and goofy, which I kind of like. They're hard. Asylum is a hardcore, old school, back to the 70s Raider fan. So I kind of like him, and he gets grumpy every now and then. He's like slapping Santa Claus, if you know what I mean. But for anyways, everybody that's been watching us tonight, we appreciate the show, and grab those links and hit those subscribes and those likes and ring the bell, man. And if you know a friend, don't be a hoe. Share the show. We'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good night.
Cold open, counted out. Yeah, we heard the talk. Cold nights and long losses, still we walk. Scoreboard hurt, but the heart stayed real. Still wear the black, still flash the shield. From Oakland roots to Vegas dust, pain in the season, but we still trust. They say it's over, I say move on, but